This is the Acura ADX A-Spec Advance. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We're at Acura today, the only place where you can get the Vehicle Visionary discount. How do you do that? You come in at the beginning of your deal on new vehicles only at Acura, and you tell whoever you're working with on the sales staff that you watched my video on the vehicle you plan to buy. That'll get you that $500 off. Exterior color here on this model is platinum white. You have an ebony interior, and as we look at the front end, everything here is LED. Now you do have the LED projector beam style headlights, obviously LED with your high and low beams, LED turn signal indicators, and the LED daytime running lights. So we work our way down here a little bit lower. Something I know a lot of you are big fans of is going to be right here. LED fog lights. I know that people want that. That is here. And a couple of different finishes here between the silver and the gloss black. You can see gloss black with our grille. The nice large Acura logo is going to be there. And with the sensors here all over the front end, several of them here, front and rear. It means you're going to have a lot of great safety features. And something that's very interesting here, when you look at the hood, you actually see the outline of the Acura logo. It doesn't have the A in the middle or anything like that, but it does kind of favor the logo down there, and so you know you're looking at an Acura. Now this model is going to be all-wheel drive. I know that's something a lot of people are big fans of. We're going to have our gloss black wheels right here for this particular model, and we'll also find the A-Spec logo right there. Remember, this is the A-Spec Advance. A lot of A's with the ADX. And we'll find our mirrors with the turn signal indicators built in. They're going to be heated and power adjustable, and these are also going to be power folding side view mirrors, but I need to show that to you just so you can see that I am right about that, and it is a feature that is here. By the way, those are 19-inch wheels that we just looked at. Up top, we're going to have our panoramic sunroof. It's going to have the power shade. You can draw back and forth. If you don't want all that light coming in, the front portion will tilt and slide open. And as far as the remote goes, here's what we're going to have. We're going to have remote start. That's that top button, lock, unlock. You can open and close your power tailgate. We're also going to have a panic button down there. That's going to be there if you happen to need it. We have a 14-gallon gas tank with capless fuel fill in case you are curious. And as far as your driving distance on a single tank of gas, here's what we're going to have. Now this is estimated. We're looking at 350 in the city, 420 out on the highway. Depends on a lot of things, a lot of variables. If you're driving uphill, downhill, several different things. Those are not guaranteed numbers, but they could be. You could be above, you could be below. LED tail lights to finish things off here. You can see again the turn signal indicators built in right there. There's that A-Spec logo. We're going to have our Acura logo here, and the not only ADX, I told you there's A's everywhere, and the all-wheel drive logo. Rear roof spoiler looks very nice. It also provides some aerodynamic benefits in the respect of air flowing over the rear window when the vehicle is in motion. That's one of the ways that you help to keep this clean. And your rear window wiper. Under the hood is the 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. It makes 190 horsepower and 179 pounds-feet of torque. It is mated to a CVT. I know a lot of you would like to see something other than that, but that is the situation. 0 to 60 about 8.7 seconds, top speed 125 to 130 miles per hour. Now, being that you don't have a massive motor here, what kind of MPGs can you potentially expect? This is just like your driving distance on a single tank of gas. 25 city, 30 highway, 27 combined, and 3.7 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And let's talk about gaining access to your rear cargo area. There's a button on the interior in the driver's compartment. You saw the button on the remote. There's also a button right here above the license plate holder, or you can just kick your foot under the bumper just like that, and it will open right up. And what is your cargo space? You're looking at 24.4 to 53.9 up to 55.1 cubic feet, depending on how you configure things. You can remove this cargo cover right here if you need to. You'll find your cargo area lighting back here. And right over here, there's going to be a 12-volt power outlet if you need to power something that requires a 12-volt. And one more thing back here that is very important that I know a lot of you like to know about. You don't have a tire repair kit, you have a spare tire. One other thing here, what is this button for? That is called the walk-away feature. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to press that button and I'm just gonna sit here and talk to you for just a minute. Let's say I was getting groceries out back here or whatever I was doing, gathering up supplies, whatever it may be. We're gonna stay on the tailgate right here, but say I was finished gathering everything up. It takes a couple of seconds so you're out from under it, but then it goes ahead and automatically closes. So just an additional option you may or may not be aware of. How about your second row passenger space? Well, there's a good bit of leg space. It is a little bit tight on head space. I'm 5'10", so that'll tell you where you need to ride. Rear seat pocket only on the back of the passenger seat. Seems like that should be on the driver's seat too as far as storage goes, but something that I know will check off two major boxes. Number one, air conditioning vents for rear seat passengers, and underneath that, a couple of USB ports. There is the panoramic sunroof from the inside for those that want to see that. The power shade is right here that I told you about earlier. You can draw back and forth, and only that front portion up there above the front seats is what opens. And we'll also come right here. We're going to have our fold-down armrest with the cup holders built in. You can see your contrast stitching right there. Now, a common question a lot of people have is, can you recline these seats? You can't adjust what's here, but there is actually some recline built in. How about the sticker price? $45,950, unless you use that Vehicle Visionary discount here at Acura. Let's see what else you get for that price. Now, you will have heated and ventilated seats for the front seat passengers. They're going to be power adjustable, but there is a difference between the passenger seat and the driver's seat. What exactly is that? Well, two things. Number one, the passenger seat does not have lumbar support, and you cannot raise and lower the height of the seat. Although that stuff is available here on the driver's seat, where it's more important, but I know a lot of you like it over there too. We're going to find our glove box right here, a little bit of space within that area, and more space with the armrest and the door bins here with the front seat area compared to what's in the rear, although we do have that back there. Our upper console is here. Here is the control for the power shade. You will also have the control for opening and closing the sunroof. There's your sunglass holder if you want to take advantage of that. And I'm going to grab the camera real fast here and show you what's going on here on the driver's side door. Seat memory is going to be here, a couple of settings for that. Controls for your side view mirrors. There's that button I used earlier to fold those power folding side view mirrors in, and then lock and unlock. You can lock all of the windows right here if you want to, and you will actually have one touch down and one touch up at all four doors. We can also turn traction control on and off. There's the button to open and close the power tailgate that I mentioned earlier. The release right here allows you to adjust the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. Everything for your radio, your volume control, what you're listening to is here, voice commands, and your adaptive cruise control. You will also have your shifter paddles right here. And then we're going to have our front and rear window wiper controls here. Your turn signal indicator controls right here as far as the turn signal stalk goes, and you'll have everything for your headlights and your fog lights right there, tail lights, all of that is here. Now, real quick, just to go through a few things here, you can go through with the scroll wheel right here and go through a lot of different information depending on what you want to do or see, just to show you what's going on where that is concerned. And then we can also use the scroll wheel here on the right-hand side. You can change your gauge display settings depending on how you want that to look. Brightness is adjusted there too, and a few other things. You've got some of your safety features right there, safety support. Tire pressure is here if you want to see that. And you can also see your gas gauge right there. Now we're going to hand the camera back here and go to our center screen. The 9-inch screen, easy to deal with. As you already know, you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. That's all going to be here and wirelessly paired. We'll have everything here with our Google Maps. You're going to have Google built in. Alexa is going to be here. There's the Play Store if you need that. And depending on what you want to listen to, you can come right here and deal with that. We'll go right here to something very important, vehicle settings. I like that you have the graphics here, depending on what you need to work with. I wanted to show you something. You saw that hands-free tailgate back there. For some reason, that's not opening. Come right here, and you're going to make sure that power open by outer handle is open. You also want to make sure that you have this as well. In fact, you can come right here with the hands-free feature. Make sure that is set to on and not set to off. Some people have had that challenge before and didn't realize that it was that easy to deal with. But there's how that works. You have quite a few other features here as far as that goes. We have one more page actually, depending on what you want to see and what we want to go through. And then we'll also find that when I go into reverse, you're going to get your multiple camera views. So you have quite a few different views here. There's your overhead view on the right-hand side. And then depending on what we want to see, we can come in here and look at our different views, just so you know what's going on where that is concerned. You'll also have your knob right there for the radio. Turn that on and off and adjust the volume. And dual zone climate control right here. And as you can see, there are the 3 stages of heated seats and the 3 stages of ventilated seats. Heated steering wheel as well. The button is going to be right down here above this A-Spec logo, a very comfortable steering wheel. And then as we move our way down, we're going to have a 12-volt power outlet right there, a couple of USB ports, and also your wireless charging pad. There is a cup holder right here. There's actually 2 cup holders. There's one here and one right in front of the center console. Not traditional in the respect of being together, but I don't think that's too big of a deal. You'll have your shifter right here. It is not push button. Good to know, because I know a lot of you don't like that. And if you're wondering what the S is right there, that S is for sequential mode. If you go into that just like this. Now what that does is basically give you more of a performance-oriented mode as far as the ADX goes. So if you were curious about that, there we go. Now you do have a few more driving modes right here. We have our drive mode selector, and that is going to show up here on the upper screen. So let me show you what all we have here. There's normal mode. You're going to have the accompanying graphics. There's comfort mode. You're going to have snow, for those of you who live in an environment where you get snow and ice. You'll also have sport mode, and then the button above that allows me to go into individual mode. And here's how we do that. We can go in here and make changes to everything that's here. You can see the different options, the 3 different options for engine. We're going to have the same thing for steering. And this way, if you don't want everything to be sport, well, it doesn't have to be. You can make sure that the idle stop or auto stop start doesn't come on. And then your gauge cluster. Have a couple of different views here. So we've got comfort as far as that goes. I don't know how well you can see it on our driver's display right there. There's comfort. There is normal. And then we also have sport mode. So if you're curious, now you know. Right here, the power parking brake and brake hold mode. If you want the brakes to stay engaged when you come to a complete stop until you start moving again, that's how you use that. And that other cup holder right there. And here is the center console. A little bit of space within that area. Actually fairly deep for being a compact crossover. Okay, here we go in the ADX for the test drive. For those of you that for the last few years have told me that the Honda HR-V is underpowered, well, this is a good option. I know it costs a good bit more, but for those who may be willing to spend that to have the extra power with a compact crossover, well, this is a great option. And it does get down the road nicely. It's not the quickest and the fastest, but it does the job when you need it. It has a nice sporty feel to it. For what it is, the steering feels really good. It's nice and responsive. Gas pedal and brake pedal easy to manage, and the technology here is easy to learn and use. Something you're always looking for, and a lot of adjustability for the driver. I talked about that earlier in the video, how you can raise and lower the seat. Unlike the passenger seat over there, you also have lumbar support here for the driver's seat. It's easy to see out of. I like that. You've got all of your great safety features as far as your blind spot monitoring, lane keeping assist. All of that's going to be here, adaptive cruise control, and ultimately a nice looking interior. You won't see any changes between 2025 and 2026 because obviously this came out as a 2025 model. So just something to keep in mind. I know a lot of people sometimes expect major changes from one year to the next, but being that this is just coming up on its first birthday, well, you're definitely not going to see any changes as far as that goes. If anything at all, it might be some minor little changes, an additional exterior color or two, something like that. But as of right now, Acura hasn't said anything about that. Overall, the front seat is spacious. For the driver and the passenger, you're going to have more space here than you will in the back seat, as I showed you a little bit earlier. And the handling is good, along with a comfortable ride quality. So I'd say a very well-rounded vehicle for what it is. And there it is, Acura ADX A-Spec Advanced. Tell me what you think down in the comment section, and tell me if there's something that isn't here that you wish were. I'd like to say a special thanks to my friends at Acura for loaning us this ADX for the day so we could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. That's very helpful to us. Make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and we'll see you there.